Hey y'all, it's your host Mia. Welcome to Purified, the podcast for entrepreneurs seeking to navigate both their business journey and their relationship with Christ. Featuring vulnerable and relatable stories, each episode dives deep into real experiences, offering faith-driven insights and practical advice. Listen and learn as guests share their unique paths to aligning work with their walk in faith. Every episode will leave you with a purified perspective. I didn't need no cards for you. I didn't write down no questions for you.
Okay.
Because I know who I'm talking to today. I'm
Period.
here with TheRiahMichelle.
Hey guys.
Okay, TheRiahMichelle. Well, I'm gonna just give like a little background because we have background.
A lot.
The only background I'm gonna say is we've been friends since 7th grade.
Yeah.
8th grade.
I think it was 7th grade. I'm trying to think when you got there. We just, for the record, we're going to say 7th grade.
No. It was 8th grade.
8th grade.
It was 8th grade because I remember what school I was going to in 7th grade.
Okay, 8th grade.
Me and TheRiahMichelle have been friends since 8th grade.
It's a long time.
That's a long time. We had our ups and downs, but
yeah,
we're going to always be friends.
No, facts.
To be honest.
That's crazy. Like, we went through so much. Like, nothing about 8th grade till now, like, and everything that we were doing and did, like, we literally went through, like, just so many transitions together, like, into adult.
Yeah, we really did. Especially with me, like, moving away.
Yeah. That hurt.
Okay, TheRiahMichelle. How old are you and where are you from?
Oh, goodness, y'all. I'm 26, and I'm from Houston. Houston, Humble. We don't want to get into the specifics of that.
Okay. So, as you know, because we already been talking, but we just going to be in this podcast like we don't know each other.
Okay.
As you know, the podcast, I have rebranded, and it's pretty much for entrepreneurs trying to find their way.
Right.
So, are you an entrepreneur trying to find your way, or do you have established businesses that you can talk about today?
I would say like a little bit of both, but I definitely feel like I'm more of an entrepreneur trying to find my way, even though I have businesses that are established, but I'm still like building them on a more consistent basis and trying to figure out where I want to be with them. So I don't really want to mark them as like I'm 100%, my business is 100% just perfect because I'm still working through those kinks.
Okay. So tell us what you do. What do you do?
So first, I'm an artist, but I do...
What kind of artist?
Girl, like, I'm a pop artist, y'all. I make pop music. That's, like, my baby. Lately, I have been, like, taking a little step back and really focusing on, like, other business ventures, like my nails. I do press-ons, and I also do, like, full sets, but the custom press-ons, like, that's really, really, really what I'm into. And I also do day trading. So those are two of my areas that I'm really focusing in, like, to build my business overall.
Okay, so you're a pop artist.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You do day trading and you do nails.
Yeah.
What about, do you work or anything?
Yeah, I work. I run a trucking company, which is lucrative. That kind of helps me on my other business ends, because even though it's not my company, but being able like to run it and see how everything works, that has helped me to be able like to further structure my own businesses on the side. But yeah, I definitely have a 9-to-5 too as well, y'all, so don't be talking out 9-to-5s.
Nah, there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. You gotta get your bread.
Facts.
Okay, so before I start asking you like into more detail about what you do, I ask everybody, do you have a relationship with God, and have you ever had an encounter with God?
Yeah, I do have a relationship with God. I always have had. I grew up religious, and I became more spiritual as I got older, because when I was a part of a religion, I didn't feel like I knew God. Like, I just feel like I was kind of just there, like as a kid. I would say I did go through a time period where I felt like I was disconnected from God. I would kind of say that was like into high school, maybe like beginning of college, I was just like kind of floating around, and I had an encounter with God that kind of like brought me back, and like I started having a personal relationship with Him because I had a dream, and like in the dream, I had a teacher that I couldn't see the teacher, but the teacher like told me to go look for this book, and I was like in the store, and I was like, I have to find this book. My teacher told me to find the book or whatever. And the book was called Abba, but I never like had heard the word
Oh,
before or anything.
wow.
Like never knew that word. And like when I woke up from the dream, I Googled like what Abba meant, and then like I bought a book, and the whole book was about like God like telling me like that I was His child, and it just went into like so many details. And after that, like I was like bringing my Bible to work, like reading it, like starting from Genesis, and I would say that kind of like that really boosted me getting back into my spirituality. Like I would even find like a little 4 people Bible study group. We would like link up when I was living in Georgia on like Tuesdays and Sundays and do like Bible study and prayer and stuff. So yeah, that's been a journey. But
That's actually amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know about that story.
yeah.
I didn't know about that story. But you mentioned something. You said you grew up religious. Did you grow up Baptist or what?
No,
What
I
was
grew up
it?
Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's amazing though.
Yeah.
The encounter that you had. People really be sleeping on dreams. I'm not gonna
No
lie.
facts.
Sometimes I be like, dang, that wasn't God, that was me. And then I see like something that it
Yeah.
starts adding up. It's like God really do be speaking through dreams.
No, He do. He really do. And I think like when I grew up, we weren't really taught on certain things. Like I didn't grow up like in a church like where you like see people catching the Holy Ghost and talking about like they had encounters with God. That's just not really like the religion I
Right.
grew up in.
Mhm.
So when it did happen, like I don't know, like I knew it was God because no matter how religious I was before then, I still never felt like I had heard from God
Right.
before. Like until that moment, I
Mhm.
feel like I heard from Him. And even though I'm not perfect, I know for sure 100% that He's had my back and He's covered me through the years. And that was the difference, like between the relationship when I finally got like a relationship with Him, rather than how I was kind of just more robotic in the beginning.
Robotic.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Yeah.
I like that description.
Yeah.
I definitely like that description because even me having my own relationship with God, I find myself sometimes. Well, I guess not now that He's brought it to my attention, but there were times where I'm like, okay, I can't do nothing unless God say so. Or I mean, I know it's a little different with how you saying you grew up, but
Yeah.
robotic is definitely a nice description because I'm like, okay, wait, God still wants me to make some decisions for myself, and I'm
Yeah.
acting like I'm a robot. I'm
Yeah.
not a robot. Like God gives us free will. He
Mhm.
just wants us to make the right decision and will empower us to do so.
Exactly.
Okay, you said you're a pop artist.
Yeah.
Now, we've been going to school together we went to school together in 8th grade. We were both in choir.
Oh my goodness, we were.
Or were you in choir? You were
Yeah,
in choir.
we had that.
Choir.
Yeah, I can't even live with him. Because I forgot his name. Mr. Parquet? No, that wasn't his name.
I don't remember, but I know.
Mr. Broadway.
Oh, Broadway.
Mr. Broadway,
Yeah.
yes.
And I remember what he looked like, too.
No, me
like,
too. I was going to describe him, but I was like, I can't do that. Like.
Okay, now, what's so funny is in middle school, I used to want to sing.
Yeah, you got a guitar and everything.
She did not want to sing. She used to be like, like, I just remember her complaining about singing, and then it's like just all of a sudden, a light just sparked up inside of her, and now she done been all around the world singing and stuff. So, how long have you actually been singing? Like, where you decided to take it serious, or you like that's what you wanted to do?
I mean, like, I just never really thought I could sing. Like, as a child, like, you just be singing, like, songs like Cheetah Girls and stuff. And I didn't really think, like, I had, like, that voice. So I never thought about, like, taking music serious. And then because I grew up religious, we were taught that you really couldn't get into those type of things, like, because the world was going to end. Like, the end of the world was coming. So it was really pointless for you to get into those things. So I wasn't really trying to, pursue or do anything like that. And then I got to a period, which would be that time period where I said I was kind of just, like, floating about, like, finding my way, that college period, whatever it may have been. And I was going through a lot. Like, now I'm just going to say I was fighting demons because that's what I'm going to label it as now. And then I kind of just started, like, writing. Like, I would be writing different songs. And at first, y'all, it's so funny. I used to write songs, like, woke songs like Tupac, like about the government and like so much different stuff. And then I mean, I had the pleasure, like, I don't know, like God kind of, I was put into places and rooms and meeting people that were like doing music, and it was like further like motivating me, and I was getting around people who started saying like they wanted to manage me, which, you know, you find somebody, people could be like, oh, they can manage anybody. So I didn't really take it too serious until, I don't know what year, maybe like 2017, but consistently, maybe I mean, I guess when I dropped my first song, I think that was like 2020. And I was like, oh, I could actually do this. Like, I liked how it sounded, and like, I was like, okay, this is for me. And I don't know, I kind of just got into it from there. Like, when I kind of got confident in putting music like out to the world, not just like writing at home and thinking it was like stupid.
So if someone is interested in, if they do music and they don't know where to start, like, and where you've been already, where you've already been, what advice would you give to someone who's in music and wants to start? Like,
I would just say, just do it. I mean, I know that's so cliche, but I mean, just do it, because you'll find your voice eventually. The first couple songs might not be it. Your first writing pattern might not be it. You might not like how your word flow is, but just do it and just keep doing it, because I knew, like, I had no confidence in what I was doing at first, but like in front of the world. Behind closed doors, it was something I already loved to do. But once you put something out and you just go for it, you'll keep doing it, and you'll change little stuff, and then 5 years later, you're like, you have a whole different sound, but it's your sound, but you built it. So just do it, and don't look at like what other artists are doing in the world and trying to be them and trying to incorporate. Like, just literally be you, even if nobody's supporting it, even if nobody's liking it. Just continue to make the music that you want to make. Like, keep the creativity. I feel like the music industry is already lost with people just being music robots and just doing it for likes and clicks. Like, just make the music that you love, that comes from your soul. That's all I would say.
okay, so before I touch on what you just said, when you say just do it, just put yourself out there, are you talking about like social media, or what are you talking about?
I
Like,
would say start with social media, cause I mean, if you're like a new artist, you might not know like where to go perform until you get on social media. That's more than likely like where you're gonna find places that are like looking for performers where you can go start performing for free. Cause I know when I first started performing, it was like little places that was like 5 people was there and 10 people was there, just like little hole in the wall places. And then once I kept doing like little stuff like that, people would reach out to me and be like, oh, hey, I'm having a showcase, like, you should come perform. And I'm gonna be honest with you, you're not gonna be getting paid to do this in the beginning. Like, you're gonna just be doing it, so you better love it. Like, because yeah. But start with social media. Go get in the studio, find you a producer. Whether you gotta look online, I would recommend you looking on social media still. Even if you don't have a studio to go to, get an instrumental beat, write to it, and then play the beat and sing over it, and just post videos of you singing over beats online. Somebody gonna find you and like you and say, hey, come perform, or hey, I got a studio, come to it. It'll come to you.
so do you just wait for people to reach out to you, or do you reach out to people too?
Um, I I do both. I'm gonna say I'm kind of in a space right now where I kind of don't reach out as much. In the beginning, I did. I was like, oh, hey, like, I see you guys are having like a free performances, like, you know, can I come perform? But once you're doing it for so long, like I said, it kind of just reverses. But if it's like an event that I feel like I will be good at, like, or somebody's having a fashion show, then yeah, I'll be like, oh, hey, like, I see you guys are having a performance. So still, yeah, it's 50-50. Sometimes I'll reach out if I feel like it's something that'll be good for me. And then sometimes people reach out. The one thing about you reaching out, though, for the most part, is that you're usually reaching out to something that is on brand for you. Because just because people are reaching out might not be on brand for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was both, yeah.
Okay, so I want to touch on two things that Riah said. The first thing is you said that sometimes you reach out to people and sometimes they reach out to you. And one thing that God has shown me recently is that all opportunities don't show up looking like opportunities.
Right.
So it's not necessarily that people will always come to you. Sometimes God will present the opportunity and you have to actually go to it. and
Facts.
then you'll see that it's an opportunity. The first thing, before I forgot, was you said that you won't be getting paid for these shows when you
Right.
first start doing it. And another thing that I feel like God has shown me in my journey is that it's important to build first.
Yeah.
So if you build in your name by going to these events for free, speaking at places for free, or whatever the case may be, build first. And it's like I learned that, and then I started watching people like Alex Hormozy and people who are like successful in business, and they actually say the same thing. For example, if you've been watching me for a while, then you know that my social media started growing when I wasn't really trying to make it grow. And I was like, dang, like, I'm not making no money from this, but I got all these followers. But then I realized that God was putting me in position to build first. Like, building first is actually important. Sometimes you try to get out there and you think that you just supposed to get all the clients or get all the people supposed to come to you as soon as you start doing something. You actually should build first. Build the relationship with people. Just like with Riah, she's building relationships with people that could later open up more doors for her.
Facts.
So don't feel like it's just gotta come as soon as you start. Build first. But okay, now that was for music. I think that was all my questions for music. Oh, but I wanted to touch on how you were saying that music just is so lost, right? Lost right now. It's really sad because it's really doing the children bad. Like the children who starting to grow up. Riah don't cuss in her music.
Yeah.
She don't do no cussing. And even before, like, me knowing that she has grown in her relationship with God, she never cussed in her music. So I just feel like that's something good to look up to as a child, for one, but also as somebody who just, people out here really selling their soul for $1.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't have to do that. She's, I'm sure, not where she wants to be, but she is happy with being herself.
Facts.
But okay, so you said also that you do trading. How did you start doing trading, and how was that going for you?
So first, it's going great. I got into it because I had done it previously. I just didn't have the right people like showing me and the right resources with it. I actually met someone, which is my mentor now. I had a friend that I met at a music video, and me and her became friends. And her group of friends they do like networking and network marketing. They just do, business people. So they surround themselves with each other. They were having like networking events and stuff. And she ended up inviting me. I guess one of them had a birthday party. And it's so funny because I met my mentor at that night at the birthday party. And it was like months later that we had like reconnected. And I was like, because he was posting about it. And I was like, oh, like, hey, like, how long you been doing it? Like, what's that? And of course, he was like telling me like his success. And he was like showing me everything. And like me, like a lot of times I have a hard time like taking leaps of faith into stuff. And I was like, I'm about to pray. And he was like, okay, I'll pray with you. And he was like, it was surrounded based off of God. And I was like, if you're not true, or you're not I said, God is gonna get you.
He gonna get you.
Yeah, for real. And he holds on to that to this day. And I have been surrounded with a whole group of people who do this, who have shown the way. And for me, it's been a life changer because I didn't come from really just having like a lot, and I know I wanted to like set a different standard for my family. So to be able to have like passive income, and then in no time, I'm sure like maybe in a few months, it could completely replace my actual 9 to 5. That's something I'm definitely looking forward to. So yeah, it's an opportunity I was definitely grateful to have and to get into, because yeah.
First of all, I've told her this already, but if you're into trading, you strong.
No, for
Because
real.
I don't like learning stuff like that. Like having to learn a chart and learning the numbers and all that stuff. I just rather not. So I just feel like she's strong, and anybody who's actually doing it is strong. I don't have the patience for it for some reason. Like, it's like she try to tell me stuff sometimes, and I have another friend that try to tell me stuff, and I'm just like, Like, I just don't want to hear it because I don't want to have to learn it.
And the thing about it is the group of people that I'm with, like, of course we have classes where you can learn cryptos, indices, different things, binary, which of course you do want to learn it if you want to learn it. Other than that, they're going to drop trades and tell you which trades you want to take if you don't want to take them on your own, or if you don't want to mark up your own trades. Me, I do both. Like, I take their trades and I want to learn how to trade, because you never know, like, who's going to be here today or tomorrow. But I do want to be able to have it, because it's just definitely a lane that is, you're able to just make money. Like, it's like going to Chuck E. Cheese and, like, getting tickets from every slot. But yeah, it's not for everybody. It's different.
Yeah. Okay, and what was the other thing you said you do? You said...
Oh, nails.
Nails. Okay, so if you're in Houston, book Riah.
Yeah, the Total Nail Experience. On Instagram, it's Total Nail with an X, periods. Okay? Y'all got that? How I said it? Okay, Total Nail Experience. Don't put EX, just X.
Okay, so because you're my friend,
yes,
I know that you said that you would rather do press-ons right now.
Correct. I love to do press-ons, yeah.
So why would you rather do press-ons than than actually taking clients?
Let's
be real.
Press-ons is, I don't have to sit, like, personally with someone and take the time and that whole interaction. Like, press-ons are easier. Like, you send me your nail sizes. Yeah, it's easier to be able to sit in your house and make a product and I could be like, okay, I can go home and make 5 press-on sets easy in like 5-6 hours. But if I had those same sets in person, it's going to take way longer. It's going to take way more energy. It's going to take way more out of me. And on top of that, my clients are only leaving with the set that they're going to wear for up to a month. The press-ons are acrylic in themselves, so they can rewear them and get uses out of them months and months later. So yeah, like, it's a win-win for me and it's a win-win for them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that though, because anybody who knows me, like Riah, I come from a background of doing makeup. Yes, I do it sometimes, but I don't really want to take clients like that. I do braids right now, but I don't really want to take clients like that. I use that like my 9 to 5. That's how I make money.
Yeah.
Outside of podcasting and trying to build other things, but I would rather have a cosmetics line or something like that instead of actually having to deal with the people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I would rather deal with people like sitting like this, having a conversation than a service. I don't know. It's just something about it. I think I'm just burnt out with it.
To me, it's a lot of pressure, because it's like they're in your face, you're in their face. Then it's a lot of just things that could just go into the conference. It's just a lot, honestly. It is just a lot. It's the same reason why the banks put the little clear glass up now. You know, it's like, just put the glass up.
I'm not gonna lie. Let me be real. So yesterday I did do some braids, right? And they were small knotless braids. And on my site I say, please be prepared to sit. I will not rush my work. I feel like very often people get in my chair and they try to rush me, and I don't like that, because it's just like,
because that butt start hurting.
Whatever the case may be, like, I let you know already, I'm not a speedy braider. I let you know when I do your makeup that it's going to take X amount of time. Why would you book your hair appointment, your nail appointment, and your makeup appointment on the same day, and then come to your makeup appointment late and then try to rush me to finish and you're late? Like, that's just it definitely comes with a lot of pressure, because I feel like if I'm rushing, it's going to look rushed. And then the people around you going to be like, dang, who did your makeup? Like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I want your stuff to come out right.
Facts.
So if you want to rush me, I'm not the person to book with. That really is a lot of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
Because when I was doing nails, it is that time, too. Because you got people who going to do them super fast, and then it's like, it's that pressure and it's that time, and I'm just like, I just like to just avoid that. Just like here, I have an easier solution for me and for you.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay, so as far as entrepreneurship, do you feel like know, what is it that you feel could be stopping you from going to another level right now? What are your struggles right now in entrepreneurship?
Just really myself, like my mindset. Like sometimes I procrastinate a lot, or sometimes I've had this fear like that I would fail before I even get started, even though like I see that this is happening for someone else. I see that this worked for someone else. So God is showing me this can work. Like you're not imagining that it could work, but for some reason sometimes I just have a hard time or have had a hard time believing that it could work for me. And I can't pinpoint, I mean, I probably could pinpoint time periods in my life where that mindset could have came from or something like that, but that's just what I have. And then I get into this comfortable space where I'm like, you know what? The bills are paid anyway. Like, why I gotta go the extra mile? And then
Oof.
I let it get way to the end where I'm like, okay, well, the mile is now very much ran out. Now I wish I would have took that time I was procrastinating and just believed in myself, because it's like either you're gonna fail or not. But I'd rather just try now and fail rather than just sitting there and failing anyway. Because it's you literally see something work for everybody. And your brain will try to convince you that it can work for you. That's not the case.
I have heard a few times people say, um, God will not expose you to something that's not possible for you.
Exactly.
And I really believe that. It's honestly funny because Riah used to do modeling. She have hosted like a little modeling, what was it?
Agency.
A
Yeah.
modeling agency, all this stuff. And I used to feel like, bruh, she is so confident. Like, she just do anything. And to hear her actually say that, it's like, dang, like you never know when you looking at somebody what struggles they actually going through.
Facts.
Sometimes you think that it's just so easy for them, or you just think that, you know, like you make up what you want to make up about people, but you don't really know what they going through or what they're actually battling.
Yeah.
But so just procrastination and just being in your own head.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is really that, just being, because if I could get out of my own head and I wouldn't have procrastination, I'd be great. Which now I'm in a spot now, once I really did surround myself with other people, my mentor, the group of people that I've surrounded myself with, and also God, I feel like He gave me like this relief of mental drainage, to where like one day it was like I was praying so hard and I was like, God, I know I really want to be successful. I know what's stopping me. Like, please just give me the mental capability to get up and be consistent and do this every day, because I know I want to change my life.
Right.
But I'm stopping myself. So when the circle changed and I started getting around other people, and then like they pushed me, and it's like something just shifted, and like I woke up. That's how I had to like explain it, because it was like one day I was doing this, eating hot chips, candy, drinking, lazy, and next day I am moving on. I was like just ready. So I don't know. I do believe that God keeps you in certain seasons where you really do need to learn, because if you like got rich or if you got successful right now and you weren't ready, you just messed it up anyway.
Right.
So it's better to let you just mess it up right now when you don't really have nothing, and then when you do start giving your all, you're way more prepared. So I'm definitely grateful for my downtime. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah. Okay. So just to touch on what she said when she started getting around these people, I have definitely, since I've been back in Houston, God has been showing me you need community. As
Mhm.
much as we want to do things by ourselves, as much as we want to build by ourselves so we don't have to worry about nobody, we need other people, especially like-minded people.
Facts.
Ever since I've been here at Collab Social, I've been so motivated.
Yeah.
I've been just, I mean, I'm not going to lie. You have to go through that switch in your brain.
Yep.
Because I also realized that God gave me more like-minded people to be around once it hit in my head.
Mhm.
It was like, God, I need friends. You're not sending me no friends, but I wasn't ready for the friends yet.
Exactly.
Once I start getting up and trying to do stuff, then God sent me the community, the people. But I know God does it for people in different ways, but community is definitely important, because if you just sit around people who don't have visions like yours, who
Yep.
don't know how to do nothing, it's just like you just gonna end up being exactly like them.
Yep.
They sit around all day, you gonna sit around all day. Like, bad company corrupts good character. And
Exactly. That's
it's
true.
just obvious that iron sharpens iron. If you're around iron, you're gonna be iron. If
Yeah.
you're around aluminum, you're gonna be aluminum. Like,
Seriously. You
so
around
community
styrofoam?
is important. Yeah. But okay, so do you have anyone, because I've said this on the last 2 episodes, I feel like where I come from, they say, I believe in you, I support you, but if I don't do it the way they think I should do it, then it's wrong. Or I feel like they think it's wrong or they don't understand. And it's just kind of like I'll be told that I should do something this way or that way, but it's like I don't even see you doing that. So my question is there anyone in your family, or yeah, in your family, that has gone where you're trying to go? Do you have anyone to look up to? Like, because you said you're an
No.
entrepreneur trying to find your way. So you don't have no one to.
No. Like, I can only say I maybe have like one person I think that got there like a little bit and it's still no. And no. Like, no one in my, they have not broken that barrier, and uh, it's just been so much of not having and settling in my bloodline. Like, nothing was left for anybody. The comfortability was a whole life, and they passed away.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it comes to my grandparents, my great grandparents, like, they just did what was enough. But the next generation was never set up. And I genuinely hate that. I was just talking to my mentor about that the other day, and I was like, I know that I want to break this barrier for my family. Like, I know that, because I know people always come to me for stuff, and I want to be able to help, and I want to be able to elevate, and I want to be able to show my family, like, yes, like, we can do this. Like, we can have this type of freedom. And it's really hard because, of course, we were already set up. Of course, everybody know about the system to fail. Black people haven't really been given that full opportunity, but of course now it's becoming more a thing where more black people are popping millionaires, more black people are, becoming more elevated in that sense. And I want to make sure that my family is, because it's not easy for the older generation to do it. They already been here so long, they've already not had. And sometimes it's not easy for our generation because we never seen it anyways. You start thinking,
Right.
like, this just not meant for my bloodline,
Right.
maybe. But no, it is. It's going to take that one person who's going to have to put that work in, and the work is going to be hard, and it's going to be tiresome, and you really, that's part of the reason why sometimes you just don't want to do it, because you just know it's going to take a lot of hard work. Like, you're going to want to sleep, you're going to want to do this, but somebody has to not get to sleep.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to break that barrier for my family. If nobody believed in me, if anybody, it doesn't matter. I know I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And then they going to change their life.
Yeah.
And then we going to forget we even came from this place we was in.
Yeah. What was I gonna say to that?
You are.
I just it's like I don't want to cut you off, so I just let you finish talking, and then but I'm listening to everything you're saying. Well, yeah, I understand that part of not having nobody to look up to, which is why I'm here right now doing this podcast, because I definitely feel like I'm learning so somebody else don't have to learn like me.
Exactly.
So what is your why? Is your why because I've heard someone say, if you remember your why,
right,
then you won't give up. Like, you'll always have a reason to keep going. So what is your why? Is it because of family, or what is your why?
My why, I'm not gonna lie, is my child, because I just genuinely feel like,
oh my goodness, you better not start crying in here, okay?
like, before I had him, I knew I wanted to be rich. I knew I wanted all of this, but I was giving up so easy. And when God gave me a kid, like, I would still, like, have an urge to give up, and then I would see my kid, and I'd be like, no. And that would help me to get up a little bit more than I couldn't the last time when I didn't have him. Because, like, I look at him, and I look at his smile, and I hear him say, mommy, and it's like, like, you're really depending on me. Like, you really love me. Like, you really believe in me. And he does not deserve to have a life where he has to struggle or he has to go to jail. You know, I don't want that for him. Like, seeing that little human every morning, and then
We need some Kleenex.
that, yeah, like, he really is the reason why I'm going as hard. It's my family, but he is the main reason. Like,
I feel
it's
it,
him.
I feel that even just recently in the introduction I did, I said, like, you know, I was going through stuff and I was like, man, I don't want my son to have to learn like this. Now I see that it's bigger than that, but it's definitely my son. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Now that I have a relationship with God, things are much easier to get over, but you still have those feelings. Like,
exactly.
Who was it? Isaiah, I believe, ran away and said, Lord, just kill me. Like, I just want to die. Yeah. And I used to have those feelings so much as a child. Like, I literally tried to commit suicide multiple times as a child.
Yes.
Because I felt like I wasn't being heard. But now as an adult, it's like, I know now because I have a relationship with God. When I had those thoughts, I'm like, man, this ain't even, this the enemy. This ain't me. Like, but whenever those thoughts do cross my mind, I'm like, Mason, my son. Like, I can't leave him. Like, I can't leave him here to have to figure it out the way I have had to figure it out. And people don't understand it. They don't understand why you go so hard. Why do you not just do the regular? Why do you have to go out here and follow God on your journey and be homeless? Like, you don't understand. Like, you don't understand where I come from. And people, you know, one thing that I have seen in common with people like us who are trying to figure it out and don't have a blueprint is that we've all had to kind of shy away from our family. Like, we didn't come from anything that we believed in where, what do I want to say? Basically, like, I just see that a lot of us have this in common. I was just listening to B. Simone podcast the other day with I can't even remember who it was she was talking to, but it was just like her family wanted her to go to college or whatever, and she ended up dropping out of college, going to cosmetology school, and they was mad at her about that. But it's just like, you don't understand. Like, okay, so mentally, even though we didn't come from like these super bad houses where maybe you know, some people grew up like really struggling, like they didn't eat and stuff like that. Maybe we didn't come from that, but people don't understand on the outside looking in. Like, for example, me, I may say something about I'm in my mama's house and mentally I'm not in a good place, but they like, you got everything. You look at the way you dress, look at what you have, and it's like, bruh, like, I'm trying to, I see something way bigger than this. I'll go without the stuff. I'll take the stuff away from me because there's something that I see that I'm trying to get to. And I just don't believe that God gives you the vision for no reason.
Yeah. I don't believe he'll give you hope and then take it away.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you would be the reason it's taken away. Because when you look around, and I had so many times I looked around, I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere, but it's because I'm not consistent, because I have all the tools. I have every tool I need. Like, look at you. You got a setup. You got a camera. You have everything you need. Why do I have everything I need, and I'm telling myself I have nothing? I have everything. I got nail supplies. I got producers I know. I have everything. Right. Even when it comes to trading, he gave me a mentor. I have everything. So when I'm failing, it's because I'm not applying. Right. It's never because my tools are broken. Because the tool's not broken. I'm not using them. Right. Because I can't get past the mental. And that's what it takes when you're coming from a family, a generation who haven't done nothing, couldn't believe. Your biggest fight is going to be getting over that mental telling you you can't get it. You don't deserve to have that. Right. Exactly. You don't deserve to be able to go buy a G-Wagon tomorrow, buy your mom a house tomorrow. You don't. That's the enemy trying to keep you there. But you do, and you will.
Exactly.
And you shall if you just keep going.
Yes, amen. Yep. It was one more thing I wanted to say and I forgot.
So we're gonna get that brain check.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
I just be trying to let people talk because I hate when people cut me off. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, bro, I wasn't done talking yet. So, well, yeah. Yeah. I feel that. I mean, I know we have stuff in common already because we're already friends, but I guess because we already talked, I knew that this was about like the mental space, and I know that it's somebody that needs this because they're struggling with the mental part of entrepreneurship. But I guess unless I think of one more question, this will be my last question. Although I know you're not exactly where you want to be just yet, and I know that as far as like being a pop singer, you said already, just do it. But if you could say one thing to entrepreneurs out here trying to find their way, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to enjoy the journey, because I know, like you said, like I'm not where I want to be, but I am, because I'm on my journey, and I wouldn't have wanted to rush it and miss out on all these people, all these lessons. I wouldn't have wanted to miss out on seeing my transition from not believing in myself to believing in myself. I wouldn't have done it any different. It's honestly, and I hear people that are at the top always say this, enjoy the journey. And you don't realize until something click and you like, yeah, enjoy the journey, because once you get the success, it's already there. It's not really no more loopholes. But when you're going on that journey and you're meeting people and you're accomplishing small things, those small celebrations, like, wow, I just checked that off my list. Yeah. That part of the journey is the best part. So what I would give to people is to just not give up. Like, I mean, to literally just keep believing in yourself. If you have a dream, chase it. If you don't like how it's going, figure out another way. If you don't have the motivation, get the motivation. Get around people. Pray to God and say, God, I'm really tired. I really want to be somewhere else. Can you please bring me the people? Can you please bring me the tools? And really beg him, because you will get those tools. He will free your mind. No matter what you're fighting, he will free your mind, but you got to ask for it. You got to go for it. Don't let people's no's stop you. A no just mean protection. You're not supposed to be there. No. Like, that's it. Learn how to look at things differently. Change your perspective. Be open to listening. Be open to taking criticism. Like, just be open. Like, have fun. Breathe. Life is short. Give yourself grace. Give others grace. Like, but just don't stop. Like, you don't fail until you stop.
Yeah, that's facts. I believe in Ecclesiastes 3, it talks about there's a time for everything. And I heard somebody say every season can be harvest season. Exactly. So just because things are not going the way you wanted to, like she said, enjoy the journey. It's not supposed to be roses and watermelons and, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole time it's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be learning something as you go. But I remember what I was about to say the last time. We were talking about just settling for the comfortable place with family and everything. Yeah. And what I wanted to say is, we all know that we're saved by grace through faith. If we just settled for these comfortable places and just said, well, this is what my mama did, this is what my grandma did, and we just did that, what faith do we need? Like, we don't need faith for where we trying to go, because we don't want to go nowhere. We're not trying to go nowhere. Like, nobody's going to do it for you.
Nobody.
You have to get up and do it yourself, and you have to change the way you think.
Literally. And I just want to say one thing, because it's never to discredit the family that came before, because they each took a step that built this in me. Yes. So my mom took a step when she was working 3 jobs and she was selling Mary Kay, and then now she sells jewelry, paparazzi. She took those steps. My other parent has a business. And then when you get down to her mom, she took a step to just wake up and go to her 9 to 5 every day. Yeah. And her mom took a step to do whatever she was doing every day. So each generation took a little step further, and this is just gonna be the leap.
Yeah.
So not to discredit them, it's like we just want to help. You know, you just want to help your family. You want to see better for everybody. Like that's what we're here for.
Yeah. I have a video where I talked about just like my childhood trauma and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just saying that, you know, even though I didn't, even though there were some things I feel like I lacked as a child, my mama, like, I know my mama gonna always be there.
Facts.
If I need her. So,
Yep.
like she said, it's definitely not to discredit, because one thing about Mia, like, I know during my journey,
Yeah.
people felt like, oh, you just don't want to get a job, you don't want to yada yada yada. Like, the people didn't know me. They don't know
Literally,
me
please.
because
Please.
I used to hustle and grind.
Yes.
And why was I like that? My mama.
Yeah.
I see my mama do it, but she do it in a different way.
Yep.
She might not see what I see or believe what I believe, but I come from this hustle and grind, work for it, whatever. That space comes from my mama. But
Yeah, because I can't wait. I always tell people, they're like, oh, family didn't believe, but they can't because they never been there.
Yeah.
So you can't expect
and God
them to.
didn't give them that
Exactly.
vision.
But the moment that you finally accomplish it and you go give your mama 20K, I promise you she going to see things the way God need her to see it now.
Exactly.
And that's all it takes is
That's
that
why
one
he using us.
seed. That's
Yeah.
it. It's to free your people. The slaves and the shackles that's on each family, somebody has to free it. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, shout out to the ones who came before.
Yeah.
For real.
Amen. All right, girl. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
I'm gonna put all your stuff on there.
Okay. What you say?
I'm gonna put all your stuff on there so they can follow you and all of that.
Okay, I thought you meant like you gonna put that whole thing on there.
What whole thing?
Like the whole clip. Like when you be like, oh, I forgot.
Oh, girl, you know I'm gonna edit that out. Okay. Thank you so much.
That was good though. Now we cried.